well-being, and everything in between. So it is incredibly broad, and it is a show that is here to support you and to hopefully inform you and to hopefully just broaden maybe your mindset a little bit. I'm here with our experts, Tammy Foley and Hayley Wheeler. A couple of questions that have come in, actually, a couple of comments. Hello to Ryan Evans this evening. Moderation, in inverted commas. I love that word. It's just, it can be applied to so many things, Ryan. And well done to the girlies for guessing it correct as well. I use it on a weekly basis. It can just be applied to everything. If you just maybe having large fries and you need to lose some weight, in moderation, have small fries. Even better, don't have any. You know, if you're working out twice a week and you want to get super fit, then look at the moderation of that. Is that going to be good for you or not? Just apply that word moderation. Maybe when you're 6 or 7 drinks in and you're bawling your eyes out thinking your life's a mess, maybe you need to moderate on how much booze you're drinking. But yeah, it's a great word. I love that. Thanks for getting in touch. Ryan, also Hazel Lewis has been in touch just to say, Wendy, OMG, with a crying emoji and a love heart. I mean, wasn't she absolutely incredible, ladies? I mean, what a guest she was. She really was very special indeed. And now next week, we go into a double whammy of awareness weeks. It's like London buses, Mental Health Awareness Week, probably one of the biggest, Tammy, in the calendar.
Yes, it is. And this year, the theme is anxiety. And we know anxiety is a normal emotion in all of us. But sometimes it gets out of control and becomes a mental health issue. So lots happening, and to remind people, help's at hand.
And we keep hearing that word more and more these days, whether it be social anxiety, work anxiety, stress anxiety. That word anxiety it's there a huge amount, isn't it? And I think there's a lot to answer for it, really. I think socially, the position we've put ourselves in coming out of COVID, I certainly never suffered with anxiety before COVID, and coming out of it, crikey, it was, especially in our line of work, it's not a good thing, but you've got to, find your triggers, work through it and overcome it. But, Hayley, this is a big one coming up next week, isn't it? Huge topic.
Yeah, it really is. And I think the more we speak about it, and I do get a little bit miffed with the days and, the awareness raising days and weeks, but I understand why they're there, because it does really it makes organisations take notice and start talking about them and implementing things in work. But we really do need to be having more open conversations around anxiety and mental health in general. And I think with anxiety, it has risen. I saw very early in the first lockdown how many people had kind of prior to lockdown gone, don't get it, don't understand anxiety, never had it. And then all of a sudden they were like, wow, I have anxiety. I'm feeling really anxious, because all of a sudden their world was changing constantly. They had a very little control, and that was really scary, and it built anxiety in them. And now we have people who haven't managed to deal with that anxiety, who have ridden the wave of the pandemic and come out the other side, and it's starting to hit now, because now real life is starting back up, and they're finding real life difficult to deal with and a challenge.
Even just going back into that kind of just interacting again. That's social. We had that kind of social separation. About having to kind of go back to work, and that was probably, I don't know if that was just after lockdown 2 or 3, but during that, where we could, and then we went back to just having to self-isolate again, and then we've got that social anxiety of going back out and having to go back to the world as it was 3 years ago, I suppose.
And we're hearing it a lot more. I'm certainly seeing it a lot more in the schools and colleges. On a weekly basis, we're a part of different radio clubs, and we go and promote the wonderful work that radio can do. It's a fabulous, powerful medium, and how it can empower people and do some wonderful things. And we hear this a lot from a lot of students. They're suffering with anxiety more and more, especially with the likes of exams around the corner as well. It's a biggie we come across, Tammy.
It's massive. And again, we know that lots of things can lead to those feelings of anxiety. So we talk about exam pressures. We can throw in relationships into the mix. even down to, I don't know, starting a new job or losing one, or other big life events. And it's just about recognizing that other people do feel the same, and it's okay not to be okay. We use the cliches on the show quite a bit, but again, anything that draws that topic of anxiety to the forefront, that makes people think about it a bit more, is definitely a good thing. Has to be a good thing.
Yeah, most certainly. So next week, it's a biggie, Mental Health Awareness Week. Also, though, it is Dementia Awareness Week. Now, we support this immensely with a huge advocate, Cherry Evans from PAVS, who has lined up some brilliant guests all next week on Monday morning's breakfast show, 9:15. Hazel Lloyd will be talking about the new dementia strategy and how it will improve the lives of people living with dementia. On Tuesday at 11:30 on my show, Chloe Wilcox and Sean Davis from Age Cymru will be on the show talking about information and advice service and how they support people and what they provide. Wednesday, 11:30, there's an event at the Torch Theatre between 10 and 2, including a performance of Cradle Choir. So this is going to be fascinating, actually, going sort of through the theatrical side of things, performing arts side of things, of you trying to understand what it's like living with dementia. Fascinating that. Thursday, 9:15 on the breakfast show, Kirsty Morgan from the Alzheimer's Society talks about symptoms and how people can get a diagnosis for dementia. And then on Friday at 11:30, Charlie Duhigg, Admiral Nurse, Charlie Duhigg and Admiral Nurse is on talking about the support available for carers and family members. So it's really a full inclusive package of dementia. I mean, I think it affects so many people and so many families. Mine immensely. My nan, bless and love her soul, was a sufferer, and just having to see the family support her and go through what you had to, but you come together as a family unit. But understanding it gives you such a clearer picture of how you can support your loved ones. So hopefully some invaluable information on the way for you next week, all courtesy of Cherry Evans at PAVS. I mean, dementia again, I think it's there in the balance with anxiety. We're hearing about this a lot more now because we're understanding it more. Is that safe to say, Hayley?
I think it's both, isn't it? It's we're starting to hear about it more, so that we're starting to spend time trying to understand it more. We're experiencing it more with elderly relatives. And I had a client who was she was in early diagnosis, and the heartbreaking thing was watching her understand what was going to happen to her, because she'd seen it with her mother-in-law, and she was, in my eyes, still young, in her mid-60s, still young for me, I think. But the more we do become aware of things and understand things, like, we've raised awareness today of lupus. Dementia is another one that next week is going to be, the awareness raising on the radio is going to be huge here. And mental health, with everything going on with mental health. But I would like to see us not stop talking about it when that ball drops, when the last hour chimes in that week, that we stop talking. And you see it, you see social media flooded with things about mental health and maybe even dementia. I don't know with the clash how that will work on social media, but then it stops. Or it starts to trickle again, and mental health becomes, or dementia will become, a background noise again. And that's I think what bothers me with these awareness raising weeks and days, is that happens, and you can see it happening.
And it should be there 365 days of the week. Yeah. And I'm an advocate for that, and I'll say exactly the same thing about national campaigns and awareness days. It's great for that moment, but the flip side is it does bring people's attention to it.
Yeah. There's not much that's going to do that globally, is there? A lot of them are global sort of awareness raising days, and I think great if you happen to see something and you think, do you know what? I didn't even know that about dementia. I didn't even know that about mental health, and it happens in those awareness raising weeks or days. Brilliant.
Yeah. Because
that's the aim of them, isn't it?
Yeah.
But if you want to hear about mental health, follow me on social media, 365 all the time. But if you don't, I'm not the person to follow. Yeah, we can do that, can't we? We can continue to talk about these really, I think, important topics.
Yeah.
You're getting experts at this now, ladies, I must say, because I was just about to say, look, if anyone's been listening or watching this tonight, how can they get in touch with you? How can they reach out? And if they do want to find out more information or they would like some specialist advice, Hayley, how can they get in touch with you?
You can find me on social media, Hayley T. Wheeler, everywhere. Apparently, I'm flooding the internet every time you stick that in. So you can find me anywhere. Or you can go on my website and have a look at www.emotionminddynamic.co.uk.
Fabulous. And you, Tammy, as well, how can people reach out and get any help and support from your channels?
I'm the same as Hayley. Just type in Tammy Foley and I will pop up. Or, and a shameless plug for the radio, we are on Pure West Radio as well, under Meet the Team or Contributors. You'll find us as well.
Yeah, you certainly can online at purewestradio.com. Healthy Minds, Better Lives on the second Thursday of every month, 9 till 11. So a biggie coming up next week. Let's hope moving forward as well. As you've rightly said, ladies, the conversation does continue. But we're really excited next month to actually welcome you into the studio. So after giving it a real big dissing and talking about it a huge amount, it'll just be great to have that human, real interaction and not just have to look at a screen. We'll be able to have, I'm sure, probably even more witty banter. I'm sure things will get spilt, buttons will get pressed that shouldn't. But I guess that's what we're here for, to make sure that everything runs smoothly. But nevertheless, it'll be great to have you actually in the studio next month for June's session. Also, we're going to be covering nature. Now, this is an interesting one. For many different reasons, because as soon as you sort of say to me better mental health and well-being in nature, I automatically think you've got to get nude and you've got to just have a bath in the middle of the forest, or you've got to go and find a waterfall and go skinny dipping or something along the lines of that, which I have done, and it is incredible for the mind, body and soul, I must add. And there is also the most incredible, and I will give them a plug because they deserve one, which is the Scolton Manor Spa, which is basically like having a spa experience outside in the woods. It is incredible. And I know something that you'd like to bring up as well, which is forest bathing, which sounds quite interesting. And also as well, touching on Time to Change for Wales. So very busy show again next month. I look forward to it as always, ladies. And of course, this is your show. It's here to hopefully gain your awareness, change your mindset, and ultimately, hopefully, empower you a little bit more to know more about mental health and its broadly speaking topics. Of course, you can get in touch with us at Pure West Radio on the socials, or indeed via the website purewestradio.com. So we'll do it all over again next month then, ladies, with you in the studio. I'm looking forward to it.
Very exciting. Yeah, nearly a year of doing the show together. So thank you.
That is incredible. Thank you for joining us. And as always, giving up some of your precious time on a Thursday evening. That's all we've got time for. Healthy Minds, Better Lives right here on Pure West Radio. Reach out for your questions or anything you would like to get answered here on Healthy Minds, Better Lives on Pure West Radio. Your station